The king has praised the compassion and resilience of the many in the face of widespread riots by far-right groups across the country. The monarch tonight held calls with Prime Minister Keir Starmer as well as senior police officers responsible for dealing with far-right protests and counter-demonstrations around the country this week. Royal sources said Charles, 73, shared he had been greatly encouraged by the many examples of community spirit countering the aggression and criminality after thugs threatened to create havoc on Britain's streets. Police forces across the UK have dealt with chaos after bedlam engulfed towns and cities since 3 schoolgirls were last week stabbed to death at a dance class in Southport, Merseyside. B.B. King, 6, Elsie Stancombe, 7, and Alice da Silva Aguiar, 9, were killed when a knifeman entered a Taylor Swift-themed holiday club on Hart Street on the 29th of July, and 10 others were seriously injured. Following the horrific murders, the king said he and the Queen were profoundly shocked by the utterly horrific knife attack. Royal sources said the king had received daily updates from aides from government agencies on the ongoing situation as violence and disorder spread across the country. Charles, 75, has spent his life working in the field of community cohesion as well as fostering relations with interfaith communities and has been continuing to engage with community leaders, sources said. In his series of calls to be kept up to date on the situation, the king expressed his heartfelt thanks to all frontline and emergency services workers who have worked tirelessly to police events these past days. On Wednesday night, thousands of anti-racists turned out to protest against the far-right thugs blighting Britain. They gathered peacefully in towns and cities in unity with communities attacked by the mindless yobs, amid fears more hate-filled rampages had been planned. But the gangs largely stayed away. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson tonight said, in addition to the private calls His Majesty has been making throughout the week concerning recent events, and in particular the impact they have had on affected communities, this evening the king held a phone audience with the Prime Minister, and additionally had a joint call with the chair of the National Police Chiefs Council, Chief Constable Gavin Stevens, and UK Gold Commander Ben Harrington, Chief Constable of Essex. In these calls, His Majesty was updated on the current situation and expressed his heartfelt thanks to the police and emergency services for all they are doing to restore peace in those areas that have been affected by violent disorder. Additionally, the king shared how he had been greatly encouraged by the many examples of community spirit that had countered the aggression and criminality from a few with the compassion and resilience of the many. It remains His Majesty's hope shared values of mutual respect and understanding will continue to strengthen and unite the nation. The king is currently in Scotland staying at Balmoral Castle as part of his summer break, but is continuing to work on his government red boxes while performing state duties while in Scotland as usual, sources said.